Okay, let's jump right in. You know that chronic fatigue, that brain fog, or that constant background stress you're dealing with. You probably write it off as a personal failing, right? Like, oh, I didn't drink enough coffee, or I stayed up too late watching TV. Well, today in this explainer, we're going to reframe that entirely. What if it's not a personal failing at all, but a literal biological system crash? Think about it. Your body is running this highly sophisticated, incredibly ancient operating system, and modern life is basically acting like a computer virus that's actively crashing your biology.
Before we actually diagnose these system errors, I want you to ask yourself a quick question. If you could delete just one piece of modern technology to reclaim your primal biology, what would it be? Is it your smartphone? Your thermostat? Maybe that late-night streaming service? Look, we rely on these modern comforts to make life easy, but they come with a ridiculously heavy price. Just keep that in the back of your mind as we explore what all this tech is actually doing to our physical hardware.
So the core issue here is something called evolutionary mismatch. And hey, this isn't just some clever metaphor. It's a hard physiological reality. Our rapid societal advancement, the sprawling cities, the glowing screens, the 24/7 supermarkets, has completely, and I mean literally completely, outpaced the slow grinding gears of biological adaptation. We are living in a temporary state of biological disequilibrium. It's like we're trying to run brand new high-speed software on incredibly ancient hardware. And the crazy part, the exact traits that kept our ancestors alive for 6 million years are now the primary drivers of our modern illnesses.
To really wrap your head around the sheer scale of this mismatch, just look at this number, 84,000. Our primal survival code was forged, tested, and perfected over 84,000 generations. For all that time, the environment was harsh, it was unpredictable, and it was demanding. Fast forward to now, and in just the last few generations, which is an absolute blink of an eye in evolutionary terms, we've entirely transformed our habitat. Our ancient code just doesn't know how to process a world of non-stop comfort and unlimited calories. Basically, the code is glitching out.
And when that ancient code glitches out, you get what's called Domestication Syndrome. Yeah, we have essentially self-domesticated. Just like what you see in livestock or dogs compared to wild wolves, modern humans have actually developed smaller brains, diminished skulls, and a total loss of reactive aggression. We literally traded the lean, tough resilience of a hunter-gatherer for a pretty fragile modern existence. See, we still carry these ancient thrifty genes that were perfectly designed to store fat efficiently during times of starvation. But today, surrounded by constant caloric abundance, those exact same thrifty genes are what cause obesity, type 2 diabetes, and metabolic syndrome.
Okay, let's dive straight into system error number 1, the circadian glitch.
The data we're looking at here is just undeniable. We are creatures deeply keyed to the daily cycle of light and dark. Every single time you stare at a blue light screen after dark, you are delaying your spike of melatonin. That's the crucial hormone that flips your body's switch from wakefulness to repair mode. But look at this. Researchers found that after spending just 1 week out in the wilderness, totally free from artificial light, people's melatonin rhythms perfectly synced back up with the sun. Now contrast that with our normal indoor lives, where even the dim glow of a few lamps is enough to absolutely tank our melatonin production.
And you've got to understand that this glitch is way more serious than just feeling a little groggy in the morning. It puts you in a state of near-constant sleep prep delay. This is a massive open loop in our biology that triggers a total systemic failure. Because without that profound shift into repair mode, your body literally fails to regulate its temperature and hormone secretion properly. It forces your entire system to just run hot continuously. And that massive biological mismatch is directly linked to high blood pressure, depression, and coronary heart disease. It's a huge deal.
Moving right along, that brings us to system error number 2, metabolic inflexibility.
So for over 2.5 million years, human beings had this incredible metabolic flexibility. We operated on what's called the ancestral pull principle. Basically, your brain was the boss, effortlessly pulling energy from storage organs like visceral fat in the liver to keep you fueled up during a really long hunt or a tough winter. But today, well, we've completely inverted our metabolism. Because super energy-dense food is literally everywhere, we now operate on a continuous caloric push principle. We are constantly pushing nutrients into our system, and that constant pushing actively shuts down our ancient metabolic programs for fat oxidation and ketosis. We have literally forgotten how to burn our own fuel.
And as you can see on this timeline, this problem has been building for ages. Roughly 15 million years ago, a mutation in the uricase gene was actually our absolute greatest survival advantage. It allowed our ancestors to convert fruit fructose into fat stores with unbelievable efficiency, which was totally necessary to survive those cold, dry, brutal winters. Fast forward to present day, and refined industrial fructose is pumped into almost everything we eat. So, that ancient survival advantage, it's been flipped into a lethal curse. We are trapped in this state of metabolic disequilibrium, frantically storing fat for a winter famine that is never ever going to arrive, all while we just sit on the couch eating donuts.
All right, let's look at system error number 3, which neurobiologists like to call the CEO on vacation.
Listen, the most terrifying deletion of our survival code isn't happening down in our gut. It is happening right now, right inside your skull. Your brain has this built-in emergency alarm system called the HPA axis. It was perfectly designed for short-term, do-or-die threats. Like running from a bear in the woods. It floods your body with cortisol, shuts down long-term systems, and puts 100% focus on immediate survival. But in our modern habitat, the bear is an urgent email from your boss. It's an impending deadline. It's a nonstop barrage of social media notifications. And because these modern threats are chronic and digital, the emergency system literally never turns off.
And this chronic activation, it triggers a cascading physiological failure in the brain. Here's how it plays out. Step 1, your amygdala. That's your brain's threat detector. Basically hits the gym. It gets bigger, it gets stronger, and it becomes hypersensitive to everything. Step 2, cortisol just constantly floods your body. Then, step 3 is where things get really dangerous. The hippocampus, which handles memory and acts as the crucial off switch for the stress response, gets poisoned by all that continuous cortisol. It literally withers away. And finally, step 4, your prefrontal cortex weakens under the immense strain. It's just a brutal, vicious feedback loop.
And like we mentioned earlier, neurobiologists call this exact phenomenon the CEO on vacation. See, your prefrontal cortex is the big boss, the region in charge of high-level planning, logic, and emotional regulation. When it steps away from the desk, you completely lose the ability to think clearly. You become impulsive, super reactive, and entirely governed by that overactive, beefed-up amygdala. We are systematically losing the cognitive resilience that allowed us to navigate a wild, hostile world in the first place.
But there is a way out. Let's talk about the hard reset, the Rewilding Protocol.
Here is the really good news, guys. Your system isn't permanently broken. It's just stuck in a bad glitch. Your brain is not static. It possesses this absolutely incredible biological rescue program called Neurogenesis. This is literally the birth of brand new brain cells that are fully capable of rebuilding that withered hippocampus and reclaiming control of your prefrontal cortex. You just need to trigger a hard reset to signal the system to start making them again.
Now, neurogenesis isn't instant, right? It takes roughly 42 days of consistent ancestral inputs to rewire the network. So what's the process? Step 1, reintegrate foraging mode through deliberate physical movement. Get your body moving. Step 2, activate starvation mode through occasional fasting or skipped meals. This reminds your body of its ancient metabolic flexibility. And step 3, aggressively dim the lights after dark to reset that circadian cycle and allow your melatonin to actually spike. By doing these things, you are literally signaling your Barrett survival code to wake up and reactivate.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to remember this. The extreme domestication of our species might feel like this unstoppable slow-motion biological collapse, but your ancient survival code, it is still right there inside you. It's just buried under layers of blue light and processed sugar, waiting for a signal. You absolutely have the power to stop the glitch. So, I'll leave you with this question. Which tool will you pick up first to rewrite your biology today?